What is up, team? Welcome back to another podcast. It has been a minute. I think it's been about a year and a half since I last did an episode, but I am feeling so good at the moment, and so much has changed in my life since we last spoke. Which is why I have just had this feeling like I have so much I want to share to others, and I just have kind of been a bit lost with like, how can I share what I've learned to others? And I thought to myself, you know what, let's just bring back the podcast. And yeah, so I'm very excited about that. Today's episode, I am going to just update you guys on some of the changes, if you haven't seen already, that I have made, because I have made some huge changes to my life. And by sharing this, my motive is to empower others to make any changes to your life. If you're feeling like you have that sense of, this isn't aligning to me, or you have that feeling, you know deep down, if you feel like you know within yourself you need to make change, but it's really hard to actually get the courage to take the steps forward to make those changes. So my motive to bringing the podcast back and having these conversations is to hopefully empower some of you guys to make changes to your life. And it's okay to redirect. I think that a lot of people are like, they don't welcome redirection, whereas I have welcomed that redirection. And there was a lot of changes that I will debrief with you guys just briefly on today. And I have to say, now that I feel like I've come out on the other side of that, I just honestly feel so good. And I just feel so aligned, and I just feel like so inspired, and my energy is so much better. So that's why I really want to empower others to also, listen to your intuition, make the changes. So I'm going to give you guys a bit of an update of what's been happening in my life for anyone who cares. But I'm also going to give you guys 3 simple steps that you can make to start making some changes in your life. And what I mean by changes doesn't mean you need to change your whole life or make these huge life changes like move to Bali like me, but it could just be a small change. And small changes in your life can really have a huge impact. So I think it's really important to have these conversations. So let's get into my kind of update with you guys. And first of all, so the podcast is making a comeback again, which we love to see that. I am recording these episodes in Bali. I've been here for 2 months. I was here for 7 months last year, and I plan on doing regular episodes weekly with just tips to inspire and, sharing some of the lessons that I've learnt. You guys know me, I throw myself in the deep end with a lot of things, and I honestly feel like I've learned so much since I've last done the podcast. So I feel like I have so many new lessons to share with you guys. But I also just love to empower others to chase their goals, chase their dreams, like work towards things that excite you. So I hope to, continue to obviously do episodes that will help to, inspire you guys, empower you to go after your goals, and, just feel good about yourself. Of course, there will be some episodes that I give you guys some tips on health and fitness, but yeah, it'll be a little bit of this, but a little bit of that. And I plan to just be you guys' hype girl, because that's honestly what makes me feel so good. And I've just feel like my energy, just quickly before I get into my little update, I honestly feel like I have my energy back, and I have my passion back. And I think because I've made all these changes and I'm now living like life, where I feel like I'm actually feeling aligned with where I'm at, I feel like, I've kind of got that energy back to really, just help others. It honestly makes me feel really good. Like, even if it's just giving someone a little bit of a chat to help them, go after that goal you've got, like do this, do that, you can do more. Like, I really just am so passionate about helping others see more in themselves. So let's get into some of the changes that I've made. Like I said, I'm sharing this not just to randomly debrief, but I genuinely want to inspire others that you can do hard things. Doing hard things will lead to easier things later on, or an easier life later on. It's one of my favorite sayings, actually. I think it's like, do the hard things now for an easier life later, or do easy things now for a harder life later. And something that I really, really learned that I really want to pass on to you guys is, the longer you delay making any changes to your life, it could be a small change. Like, it doesn't have to be these huge changes like I've made, but the longer you delay making those changes, the longer you're delaying the outcome that you want. So honestly, something that I did last year was just throw myself in the deep end and just get it all done. But yeah, just wanted to kind of mention that. So let's do a little bit of a throwback of my year last year. 2024 was a really hectic year for me. I came across so many challenges and I learned so much about myself and just many things. And I really just was feeling like I needed to make a lot of changes. Kind of like at the start of 2024, just was not feeling myself. Like, I was not feeling like I could give to others, which is something that is just like installed in me and it makes me feel really good. I was feeling like, easily irritated. I just wasn't feeling excited to train. I wasn't giving back to myself. I just was honestly trying to keep up. Like, back then I had my gym. So I was running my gym, running my online business, also doing social media management for Brett. As I still do, I was also like having a clothing line as well. So I still had every active, and we're going to debrief about that too. So I was trying to build a startup, like all at the same time. So like a big lesson that I did learn was you can do a lot of things, but like you're not going to be able to do it all like well. Like, if you're trying to give your energy to so many different things, you can do it. But are you going to be able to invest the energy into each thing that is required for those things to grow? And the answer for me was no. And that's when I knew I needed to make some changes. And that's when I thought, you know what, this has got to stop. I've got to redirect here. I've got to make some changes. So I went to Bali for 3 months. Those 3 months led into it turned into about 7 months. And then, I'm back here again. So I'm back here this year. I think I'm here this year for like 5 months. And in those 3 months in Bali, and before that actually, I moved out of my apartment. So I lived in the same apartment, and I just was not feeling like an energy shift in that where I was. I loved my apartment, but I was feeling an energy shift, like I needed an environment change. The lease was coming up, and I just thought, you know what? I'm out. I'm going to go to Bali for 3 months and I'm going to reset. I'm going to do a 3-month reset, but that 3-month reset I'm still in the reset, and that is totally okay. Anyway, so moved out of my apartment. Lucky, obviously, had a huge factory that I've leased. So I had my office. So I just literally moved my furniture and stuff that I was keeping into my office. Happy days, went to Bali for 3 months. Okay. But moving out of my apartment, that was the first step that I needed to make. That was the first step towards momentum that I needed to make in order to make these other changes. And I talk about momentum a lot, especially when it comes to your fitness goals. You guys know, I'm PT for 14 years. I always talk about momentum. And I know that through a lot of things that I've done in my life, that I know that momentum is really powerful. So I knew, okay, first step, let's move out of my apartment. I am going to invite discomfort because I'm giving up my stability. I was in my apartment for about 5 years, living alone, loving it, had that stability, and then I was like giving up that stability. So that was scary. That was very scary, but I invited it and I just rolled with it. Moved myself to my apartment, came over to Bali. Whilst I was in Bali, I made the decision to close down my gym. Now, this was also something that I was holding off for quite some time. Having a gym, it was my dream. Like, I think, anyone that knows me has known me over the years. My dream was to always have my own gym. So I'm honestly so proud of myself that I was able to actually have my own gym for 3 years, run it successfully. The goal initially when opening up that gym was to just have my own space, to have my own office and have my own space to film my content for my online business. I achieved that. And then obviously as we started to add more classes and I have more staff, and just honestly, everything that went into running the gym itself just took away so much of my energy. Like when you own a business, especially if it's a physical space, everything is your problem. You know, like I ended up leasing the middle room in the gym just to somebody else. And like, let's say the internet went down. That's my problem. The whole day is me trying to fix the internet with my brain capacity at sometimes. You know, it's just little things. And I found like it just, trying to keep up with that, my online business, which my online business was thriving before I had the gym. So that was really an extension. And as a result, bit of a tangent here, but as a result of trying to do too much, I pulled the pedal off my online business, and that, you know, didn't grow for, you know, a little bit of time when I had the gym. So I thought, you know what, I can't be doing both. I've got to choose. And because the gym just required so much of my energy, I decided it's time to close the gym. I am not going to re-sign. I would have had to re-sign for and lock in another 3-year commitment. And I just personally knew, it's not for me. So I had to make that decision whilst I was away. At this time as well, Cassie, if you guys know, Cassie worked for me pretty much the whole time I had the gym. She also was diagnosed with cancer that year as well whilst I was away, which was really stressful because I care about her so much, and to not be there while she was there helping me with my gym was just so overwhelming. She's all fine now. She's an absolute strong woman, but everything was telling me like, nah, you got to make this change. So I told the community whilst I was away, and then I came back and I did what I had to do to close the gym. And then I came back to Bali. So I decided, you know what, I'm not ready to lock myself into another apartment or settle back down in Sydney. I need to reset my energy and I need to give back to myself. So then I came back to Bali. And whilst I was in Bali, I thought, oh my gosh, life is great. Like one less stress off my shoulders. And then of course something else comes up. So you guys would have seen already that I'm discontinuing Every Active. Every Active is my activewear brand. It was originally Every Athleisure. I did have a business partner with that business, which I cannot go into any details with, but pretty much in summary, business partnership didn't go to plan. There was a lot of unalignment. So I had to restructure that, and then I continued that. I kind of had to pivot and move Every Active onto my fitness business and go solo with that. That was how I ended last year. I thought I'm going to end the year smoothly. So that was another change that I had to make. I also, when I was in Bali, decided to rebrand and restructure my fitness business. So that was another change I made. And I made that decision because, you know, I obviously love glutes. We guys, you know that. And it's never going to change. But I feel like when I launched the Glute Academy and when I launched, just the fitness side of things, I feel like that was kind of early on before everyone else is now doing glutes and glutes and glutes and, you know, and I feel like just with my experience through it being such a busy person and having so many responsibilities as a woman, I have seen that like there's so many women out there that, you know, are busy mums or, you know, like women with high demanding jobs, own businesses, like so many boss women out there. And I really want to empower them of the importance of giving back to yourself whilst you're hustling, whilst you're doing things that you've got to do in your day-to-day life. That's why I rebranded to Busy But Balanced. Now, balance, and I won't get into it because I feel like I'm blabbing on a bit, but balanced does not mean you have a perfect balance. And that's not what I mean by busy but balance. Balance is going to be very individual. I like to work a lot. So my work-life balance, for example, is going to be very different to somebody else's. But anyways, I wanted to rebrand into something that was more aligned with where I'm currently at in my life and how what my passion, where my passion lies within fitness and coaching. So that's why I rebranded. So I decided that as well whilst I was in Bali. I feel like I make all my life decisions when I'm in Bali. So I restructured and branded my entire fitness business. I also launched a new app. So I went with the software company Everfit. Now I actually recently partnered with them and did a collaboration, like a content collaboration. So I worked with them for 2 months actually just recently. They're an amazing company, amazing team. If you're in the fitness industry, check out Everfit. I can highly recommend it. It has changed the game for me with how I run my online fitness business, and it just has solved so many problems that I've had. So yeah, it was amazing to go to Vietnam and meet the team and do a little bit of work with them. And yeah, so I restructured my fitness business, and then I moved back to Sydney, moved back in with my parents for a couple of months. My sister was having a baby, so I wanted to be around family time. And then I came back to Bali. And now I'm kind of like at the back end of then I decided to close down Every Active, so discontinue Every Active. So that's another decision that I recently made. And I made that decision because, it's okay to start something and it to not go to plan. I recently just posted like an Instagram reel explaining this, but I feel like with business and with different projects you're working on or whatever, a startup or a side hustle, I feel like not enough people discuss things not going to plan. And that's why I kind of just was very open and honest about it. But like, if you think about all the successful people out there who've got these businesses that are well known or popping off or whatever, I can guarantee most of them would have had a lot of startups or businesses that didn't go to plan. I don't like to say fail because I feel like it just didn't go to plan, and you always take lessons. So therefore I don't see it as a fail. That's just my mindset anyway. But I feel like it's just not spoken about enough. So, with Every Active, like I said, I launched that with a business partner. That didn't go to plan. I also made a lot of mistakes earlier on, hired a designer, was paying her $80 or something or other per hour, wasn't monitoring the hours she was doing. So how much I was spending on the startup was just getting to a ridiculous amount. So I wasn't monitoring things effectively, and therefore, like, just as things kind of progressed, trying to do everything on my own whilst doing everything else, it just wasn't going to be something that I'm able to continue. And I lost that fire in my belly for it as well, because, I did start doing it with a business partner, and I never intended to do that business on my own because it takes a lot out of you. You need more people to support you. And when you're unable to be in that position where you're able to actually, spend money on staff, hire staff, it's just, with keeping up with everything else. So I just decided, got to pull the pin and I've got to discontinue that. And I feel so good about making that decision. By the way, thank you guys so much for all of the support with the end of stock, is that what you say? The end of stock sale. I honestly thought I would get like a few orders because I haven't posted about it like all year, and I'm like almost sold out, and I actually oversold things and it was a bit of a chaotic time, but thank you guys so much. So yeah, that's another change I made. I decided, okay, I invested a lot of time and energy into Every Active. It's actually so okay to pull the pin, because what I am doing is I've gone, okay, I've learned what I can learn from this business. I know what needs to happen and what money needs to go into this to actually make it worthwhile continuing with. Your energy is so important. And I personally decided, like, I could keep this business going, see how it goes, invest some energy into it. But what that would do, on the flip side, is it would pull my energy away from the energy that I could invest into Busy But Balance, which is what I'm really focusing on at the moment. So that's why I decided I'm just going to do an 80% sale. I'm just going to close that chapter, take the lessons. And I know as well that these lessons that I've learned from doing Every Active, I am extremely grateful for, even like just with anything. Like I'll use those again in the future. And I'll be able to look back and be like, cool, I'm so grateful I went through that journey. And that's just the mindset that I have. And I think that it's really important to have. And I think it's really important to talk about, things not going to plan. And I like to empower people, like, if you have a business idea or you have a different career path or, I don't know, a new hobby or whatever, just try shit out, because you only learn and gain so much. And I think because I've been someone who's thrown myself into things multiple times, I just give things a go. I learn so much from it, and I get so much from it, and I'm also not afraid of taking risks. But now I just have a lot more wisdom, hopefully, but lessons that I can not only utilize moving forward, but also when it comes to the decisions that I make, I think that my decisions are also going to be, more educated decisions, you would say, just from the lessons that I've learned from throwing myself in the deep end. Like, I've got experience now, like running a physical space. I've got experience having like an e-commerce business. Like, how cool is that? So yeah, I'm really excited about just closing that chapter and moving forward. But I wanted to just quickly touch on that because I feel like it doesn't get spoken about enough. But yeah, that's pretty much, I had like some of these things written down, but that's pretty much everything, that all the changes that I made, which is quite a lot. Moving out of my apartment, closing down my gym, restructuring my business, closing another business, moving back to Bali. Like, it's been quite a lot. And yeah, something that I'll always remind you guys is like, it's going to feel uncomfortable when you make changes. But each change that you make, or each decision in the right direction that you make, it just makes room for better things. And I can't stress that enough. Like, my mum always tells me, she always has told me, when you close one door, a better one opens. Like, she's always said that to me, and I believe it. And what's happened since I've made all these changes, turn around to like today, I cannot believe it. Like, I've had opportunities come my way. And not only that, I just feel like I'm in a flow state at the moment. I feel like things are coming to me a lot, like effortlessly, I want to say. Busy But Balanced is growing steadily without me really investing 100% of my time into it, because I still also do social media management and help with marketing for Brett Contreras as well. So I don't do that really full time. And yeah, I feel like just realigning myself and simplifying things, I've been able to get into this flow state, which I'm really, really happy about. And what I've said to myself this year, okay, you need to clear things out, and you need to go into this flow state. You're not starting any new projects. You're not going and doing anything wild. You're going through this flow state. I'm refining. I'm refining my, just the things that I'm already doing. So I'm working on optimizing Busy But Balanced. I'm optimizing the website. I've just rebranded, which I'm so happy about. And thank you so much to my friend Sarah Trotter. I will link her below as well. She's amazing. She helped me rebrand everything, from the logo and everything and the site. So I feel so much elevated. So I'm refining the sales process and everything like that. And then I'm refining my skill set when it comes to like social media, marketing, and also marketing in general, because that's what I take care of for Beauty by Brett. And I really do love doing like the back end marketing side of things. I find it really interesting and fun. So I'm refining my skills without trying to do what I was doing last year, which was do a million things at one time and just not getting anywhere. So yeah, this year I'm feeling more calm, feeling more peaceful. I'm also making more money, which means I'm like less stressed, and I just feel really excited for what's to come. So I'm going to be moving back to Sydney. I'm actually changing environment. So I was in Cronulla for like 5 years almost, and I'm going to be moving to the eastern suburbs. So stay tuned. I'm hoping to find a decent apartment. Not sure whereabouts yet, but that's really exciting to me, like another new adventure. But I'm kind of keen to like settle myself a little bit. It's been over a year kind of not in a stable place, even though I have a place here where I stay, but it's still not my place, so I'm excited. So yeah, anyways, that is a bit of an update of all of the changes that I have made. And yeah, hopefully you guys can be, inspired to maybe just do things. Like sometimes you've got to just, take the first step towards the outcome that you want. Anyways, I want to share with you guys 3 simple steps that you guys are able to take to help you guys take action towards the changes that you want to make in your life. And what I mean by change, like I've said at the start of the episode, you don't need to make these huge, bold changes. You don't need to move to Bali. You don't need to, do all the dramatic things that I did last year. You can if you feel like you need to. But it could be a small change, which is also really, really powerful. So yeah, let's get into it. These 3 steps to help you guys start taking action. So the first step is going to be, ask yourself, what are you avoiding that you know you need to change? And write that down. So I'll always recommend, when it comes to reflecting, think about the environment that you're in when you are reflecting. So, try and be in a safe space, that your energy is good. Maybe go for a drive somewhere, have a bit of a reflection day, and then think about it and then come back and write it down. That's what I do when I need to reflect. I change my environment. Even if I'm, when I was living in Cronulla, I'd go for a drive somewhere else and just think, just freely think in a completely different environment. So yeah, ask yourself that question. What are you avoiding? What do you need to change? What is it? Think about it and be real with yourself. And that's what I had to do, when it came to having the gym and everything. Like, for a long time, I was like, everyone thinks it's so cool I've got a gym. Everyone's like, whoa, how cool, you have a gym. But little did they know, I loved my community. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love my community. But just what came with it, it wasn't serving me. So instead of trying to I had to really be true to myself. I was like, I'm avoiding dealing with this because, 1, it's scary. 2, it's a big deal, kind of, I've worked 3 years to have this gym how it is, and I'm just going to close it down after 3 years. I had to really question myself, and I had to really be real with myself as well. So yeah, that's always going to be the first step. What are you avoiding? And often those things that you're avoiding are things that are going to be, a bit of an effort and energy to change. Like the gym, that was not an easy change. I couldn't just be like, I don't want to have a gym anymore. I'm just going to, change jobs. It meant that I had to tell my community, let my entire community let down. I'd have to let my team down. They wouldn't have a job anymore. I had to try and I had to end the lease. I had to try to sell all the equipment. I had to evict someone. I had to make sure the factory was back to normal so I would get my $12,000 bond back. It was not an easy change. So it was very easy for me to avoid that. And I think that it's just, something that I can't stress enough. Those things that you are avoiding, even if it means that it's going to be just a shit fight, just be real with yourself. That's the first thing you need to do. Okay, the second step that I'm going to get you guys to do is write down an action plan. Even if you don't take the action, write the action plan down. This is what I did. When I knew I had to close my gym, I was like, okay, what's the action plan? What steps am I going to have to make to actually get this done? Because like I said, the things that we're avoiding usually require quite a bit of effort to change, and they usually are messy, okay? But if you can start step 2, write an action plan. You don't need to actually do the action plan, but just simply writing it. I think there's something with your psychology that makes you start to kind of feel what it could be like to make that change. And that's what happened with me. I was like, okay, this is what I need to do to close the gym. These are the steps. It already felt like I was making progress towards that outcome that I wanted for myself. So write down the action plan. Start small. You don't need to, put it completely into action, okay? But just having that action plan written down, think about how you feel about it, okay? And just, sit on that for a little bit, and I can guarantee you will be like, you know what, I need to do this. And it also makes things feel a little bit more easier as well, because when you're thinking, I need to close a gym, or I need to close my activewear brand, whatever it is, I need to move to Bali, there's so many things are involved usually, and it's overwhelming. But when you break things down, write the action plan down, it also can help you have that clarity, okay, it's not so bad, is it? I can do this, I can achieve it. Okay. And then the third step, or the third tip, is going to be build momentum. I talked about momentum before. Momentum is everything. Okay. Just start with small steps moving forward. Even if it's something just the smallest step, say, for example, with the gym, maybe I could email the real estate and say, hey, how much notice do I have to give when the lease is up? Or I don't know, you know what I mean? Like make a small step forward. Okay, you have got your action plan. Step 3 is start that momentum. You've already got the momentum because you've got your, you've written down what you need to change. You know the action, you've got the action plan ready. Start small in those steps. And I guarantee as you make one step forward, you get more confidence, you get more clarity, you feel more clear-minded. You'll be able to then take step 2 and then step 3. And that's what I've done, like closing the gym. When it came to closing ending the activewear business, I was like, this is a walk in the park. I don't have a factory. Like, I do have a 3PL factory, but they handle that. I just tell them, I want to discontinue, whatever. It was smooth. Definitely wasn't smooth with the business partner, but situation. But it was not as stressful because I had already gone through something similar, or I had already taken steps moving forward. Even just moving out of my apartment and inviting that instability in my life, if that makes sense. You guys know what I mean. Create momentum. I'm always going to say that, and I really do believe that momentum is key in anything you do. If you don't get outside of your comfort zone, the longer you stay in that comfort zone, the the more courage you'll need to find to make those steps forward. And that's why you have to choose having courage. Have courage over comfort. Otherwise, your life's going to look the same. No matter what your situation is, you literally have one life. You literally have one life, and it's only going to be yourself, that is going to be able to make changes. Nobody else can do it for you. For me, I literally, the things that I went through last year all had to be on me. I didn't make it anybody else's problem, and I feel so grateful that I was able to, get through things and make changes and get through it all, because I know I have these tools, I have this grit and these tools in my toolbox that I can continue with. But I also knew no one's coming to help me. Yes, I have an amazing family and support network that always support me, but, no one's going to do things for you. You have to start making changes for yourself. So those are my 3 tips. Ask yourself, what are you avoiding? 2, write the action plan. Doesn't mean you need to actually press play, but see how you feel when you write the action plan. See how that makes you feel, manifest it, and then you can go into step 3, which is start building momentum. Take the first step. Doesn't mean you need to take all the other steps, but just start and then progress from there. Anyways, guys, I hope those 3 tips were helping, and I hope I didn't bore you guys with my life update. Whoopsie, I'm moving the mic. Sorry, Eddie. And yeah, just remember what I was saying, when you close doors, better ones always open. And it happens in any scenario, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, and I can tell you that also definitely happens, or whatever it may be. Close doors and you'll open better ones. And most people stay stuck because they fear change. I just remembered I had that written down. Fearing change is fine. It's normal. I get it. I feel it. It doesn't mean that you're stuck though. It means that you're wanting to change something and you're avoiding it. So follow these 3 steps and you'll be able to find that clarity that, that you're wanting with to take that direction forward, to, just living life the way that you want to live. And like I said, guys, it's happened to me. I can't believe my life right now compared to last year. I cannot believe it. Even being in Bali and just seeing my friends here, my local friends and just my friends in general, everyone's like, whoa, people are picking up on my energy. My energy is so good. And I feel I don't know, I've just been a magnet for things this year. And I just think it's because I'm giving myself the space, creating the space, and I'm giving myself, the time to give back to myself after, just everything that I went through last year. And that's another thing as well that I'll just finish with is, if you're feeling stuck or if you're feeling unaligned or you're feeling like you need to make changes, do those 3 steps and then start to prioritize yourself more, create more boundaries, and give back to yourself. That's like I said, I'm in my flow state this year. I'm not trying to take on any new things. I'm just simply investing into myself, into my learning, into my skill set, refining what I'm currently doing, building upon that without overcomplicating things. And then I'm focusing on myself, focusing on my gym. I've been training so well, eating so well, doing recovery, my mindset's strong, feeling good. And I know I've needed to do this to then, whatever else is coming for me, I'm going to be energized for that. So yeah, hope you guys were able to gain something from this episode. I'm well and truly back. I'm still got 2.5 months left in Bali, so I should be able to do quite a few episodes within that time. If you guys did find this helpful, please send me a DM on Instagram. Like I said, it's been 1.5 years since I've done an episode, so just letting me know that you listened, I would feel good. I would feel like, okay, people actually listened. And if I was able to help you, please let me know if there was anything that you were inspired by. Make sure you subscribe to not just the podcast, but also my YouTube, which is the first time I'm uploading the podcast to the YouTube. So I'm learning how to do all of that. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like I said, so moving forward, they're going to be shorter, sharper episodes, giving you guys some tips, inspo, and just trying to be you guys' hype girl to help you guys go after things, have more confidence, to level up and feel good about yourself, because we've only got one life. So thank you guys so much for listening. Send me a DM if you tuned in, and I will chat to you guys on the next episode.